Come on, relax your mind. Kick back and just unwind. Don't let this moment overcome you, cause you need this vibe. Music, it takes me there, places where I don't care. I'm overflowing in this motion, you can't help but stare. Flowing like up and down, spinning around and round. Back up and touch the ground I'm making, but I can't sit down. Moving from side to side, feel good cause I'm alive. Don't you feel jealous, just get up and help me feel this vibe.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your main man, Mr. Council, back with another one, Saturday Motivation. You know how we do. I chose Saturday because Saturday is the day that's uniquely your own. Most people work a 9 to 5, so by the time they get to Saturday, they feel it's necessary to take their foot off the gas. Most artists, creatives, business minds know that Saturday's the day to put your foot on the gas and handle your business. How y'all doing out there? It's another beautiful Saturday. The sun is shining. I'm on the road. I'm traveling again. I'm headed down to Charlotte. Headed out to Mexico this week with a friend of mine, just to get away, have some fun, do some things. It's been a long school year. It's finally get a chance to have a vacation, but even on vacation, work must be done. I'm on the road right now driving. I'm just stop off at a truck stop, but I still had to bring you a word. It's been a long year. The last few years there's been a lot of ups and downs, and what I want to talk to you about today, make sure you hit the like button when you come in. Share these videos if you can. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I want to be able to go live on YouTube at some point once I get a certain number of watch hours and subscribers and different things I need to handle. I want to be able to come to you live and not always pre-recorded, even though I enjoy doing it this way too, because it allows me to make sure I'm measured in my thinking and my words. But today I want to talk about awareness leading to accountability. I talk a lot about accountability. I know we hear that word a lot, and a lot of people, they really don't like that word because most people don't want to be held responsible for the things that, for their life in general. Most people like to make excuses for why things happen to them, as opposed to taking responsibility for their actions. And so I want to talk about some ways, some things you really need to be aware of if you're trying to keep yourself accountable, because one of the biggest things that we don't understand is just awareness. People are not aware of the rules to life, the fact, a basic framework. A lot of times it's a lot of, I think more people need to be parented a little bit better. I think it's becoming a lost art. It's so many people that want to chase their dreams. Oftentimes young people are raising themselves, and so they don't have a basic framework to life. So oftentimes they're just making decisions, not understanding the impact of their decisions. And so I really want to discuss today of certain things that you need to be aware of if you want to get to a space where you want to keep yourself accountable. The first thing that you need to be aware of is life is a constant series of lessons. It's a constant series of lessons. When those lessons stop, your time is pretty much up. It's the time that you spend here, you're constantly going to be learning something. And even if you don't want to, life is going to put you through situations. And oftentimes we wonder why we keep going through the same situations over and over and over again. It's because God is trying to teach us something, but we're not getting it. So until we understand what's actually happening, until we're aware of the fact that we are being tested, you're never going to pass. You're going to keep going through the same situations. I don't care if it's financial. I don't care if it's a social struggle. I don't care if it's a relationship struggle. No matter what you're constantly going through that's negative, it's never going to hit that positive switch till first you understand and aware that you're being tested, and that you're not just being tested for the sake of being tested. God is trying to teach you something through a life circumstance. See, we always run to books and to the internet to learn things. And oftentimes we just need to open our eyes to our surroundings and understand that it's so much life learning that is going on right around you. We're just not aware of it. So you have to first understand that life is a series of lessons, and it's never going to stop, because once you learn a lesson, the next one's coming right around the corner. It's like you don't get a break. And it's just learning how to manage these situations, which is going to determine how happy you can be surviving. All right. So the first thing you need to be aware of is that life is a constant series of lessons, and you have to be aware of that you're being tested, and you have to figure out what it is God is trying to show you in those difficult moments, ultimately to be able to pass those tests and move on to the next thing. And see, you're never gonna, most people want to get to a point in life where they can just relax. And that's not why we're here. We're not here to just relax and chill. We might have periods of time and periods in our life where we can. Like right now, I'm about to go on a vacation and just relax and get away and do nothing. You know, but even on my vacation, I still feel a duty to do what I'm doing in this moment now. So because I have a calling, it's just something, it's become a part of my life now. It's just something that I do. But I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly trying to figure out something new. I'm trying to take myself to a different space where I can become a better version of myself. Whenever I get to the point where I feel like I've done enough, then there's no purpose for me being here. And see, the next thing, after you realize that life is a series of lessons, you have to understand that you make the choices. See, and life gives us a lesson, but we have to make the choice ultimately how we get out of it. And when we talk about accountability, most people don't like making choices, because at the end of the day, they don't want to take responsibility for their actions. And so if you think about it, a lot of people constantly ask other people for advice about what to do instead of just listening to themselves. And in a sense, when you ask somebody else what you should do in a situation that they're not fully aware of, they're just telling you from the information that you give them what they think you should do. And ultimately, most people know what they should do in certain situations. They just don't want to be the one to make the ultimate decision, because at the end of the day, they know if something goes wrong, that they have to be held accountable for what they've done. But if they ask somebody else what to do, they could say, well, you told me to do this. You told me to do that. Just think about it. Sometimes even if you think about love relationships, it's always the person in the relationship that never wants to make any decisions, never wants to do anything, never wants to make the call. Why? Because then if things go wrong, they could say, well, you did this. You made me do that. And that's somebody who does not want to take accountability. You have to stay away from people like that. All right? We want to be accountable in life for our decisions and our choices. So the first thing, we have to understand that life is a series of lessons. And throughout those lessons, we're going to have to make choices. And when we make those choices, we have to understand that the decisions that we made in the past have determined where we are today. Where you are today is a collection of the decisions and the choices that you have made. And see, most people like to look at their life and blame other people for why they are where they are. I had a parent who did this. I had a teacher who did that. I had a preacher who told me to do this. I had a friend who told me to do that. And instead of looking in the mirror and understanding that you, even if those people told you what to do, at the end of the day, you made a decision. But most people don't like to stand on their decisions. And in life, we're not always going to be perfect. We're not always going to make the right choice. But we have to understand at the end of the day, the choices are ours. So wherever you want to get to in life, if you're not there, it's because you're not doing something. And you cannot blame anybody for it. Now, yes, life is not fair. We don't all start off on an even playing field. Some people are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And some people have to fight and claw for everything that they get because they grow up in poverty. But depending on where you are in your mental space, that determines your happiness, not how much money you have. And so we all have to be accountable for where we're going. See, life is not about what happens to you, it's about what you do about it. So if you grow up in a lowly circumstance, how are you going to dig yourself out of it? If you grow up without a father, are you going to spend the rest of your life talking about that? Or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to understand that God might have a male figure in your life that could be a better father to you than your natural father was? But are you even aware that that's happening? See, there's so many people that spend so much time in a woe is me mindset, they don't even understand that God is trying to bless you. So if you really want to get to a point where you want to be accountable, understand life is a series of lessons. Understand that you have to make the choice to navigate through those lessons. The decisions that you made yesterday determine where you are now, and ultimately, the decisions you make next will determine your future. Everything that you are about to do is going to affect you in some way, positively or negatively. So once you are aware of that, then you can begin to make measured decisions. And you're not always going to make the right ones. But that's why a lot of times I don't like asking people for advice, because I don't want to put the responsibility of my life in other people's hands. I guess a lot of times you need some sort of guidance. I don't want to make it seem like I know everything, but I love being responsible for my mistakes, because then if I do something wrong, I cannot blame anybody else. And even if I tell somebody about something I'm going to do, I'm not telling them that so they can tell me their opinion. I'm just telling them what I'm about to do. And so it's not about me knowing everything. It's about me being accountable for everything that I do and everything that happens to me. So I understand, yes, I want to be big in the music game. I want to do a lot to change people's lives through motivational speaking. But I'm not where I need to be, and I'm not there because of the things that I've done in my life. I chose to go to college. I chose to start a profession instead of running after my dream and my art. So now I'm doubling back, and I'm trying to focus on two things at the same time, which is a lot harder, but it's a result of the choices that I made at the end of the day. Now, the way I think spiritually, I feel like God has put me in certain places that he needs me to be. And then ultimately, if I serve him well, then I'll get the things that I desire. But it's all going to come through my hard work and sacrifice. And I cannot blame anybody else for the outcome. So if I ultimately do not make it, it's because I didn't decide to do the right things. I didn't move quick enough. I didn't change where I was. I didn't put myself in a different crowd of people to be able to get myself in a space where I need the right people could see me. At the end of the day, it falls on me. So if you want to be accountable, understand life is a series of lessons. They will never stop. These lessons will never stop. As soon as you get through one, another one's coming right around the corner. And understand that when these lessons come, you have to make the choices of what you're going to do. And you have to even understand that not making a choice is a choice, because you're allowing someone else to determine your future by not making a choice. Because at the end of the day, something's going to happen. You got to do one thing or another. Even if you decide to take somebody else's advice, even if you decide to point the finger at somebody else, you have to live with the results. So be accountable for yourself. Start making better choices. And if you make a mistake, make it right. And see, it's not about the choice. It's about the confidence in the choice. It's about making a firm decision, because you're going to learn from that mistake ultimately, even if it's a mistake. And hopefully, God willing, you'll have another opportunity to make it right and make it better. So please understand, if I can motivate you today, you are responsible for your life. Don't allow someone else to steer your car. It's about you and the things that you want, and you are responsible for getting yourself there. So stop blaming your parents for where you came from. Stop blaming your teachers for so-called not showing you enough. Stop blaming your pastors and your preachers. Stop blaming your friends for bad advice and start taking your own advice. Trusting your gut. Understanding that you have to be aware of your surroundings and the things that you need to do to get yourself to the next level. It's about you and what you are doing or not doing to get there. So stop blaming the world for your problems. Stop passing the buck and start to take responsibility for where your life is. And if it's not where you want it to be, do everything you can to make it better, because while you're still breathing, you still have another day. You still have another shot. You can make another opportunity. It's not only one shot. You got to make another shot for yourself. You have to keep pushing yourself, and you keep pushing yourself out there, and the universe will respond. But if you cower and you constantly pass the buck and blame people for things that are going on in your life, you will never get to the peace and happiness that you are searching for. So stop blaming the world for your problems and become the best version of yourself by becoming aware that life is a series of lessons. You can't run from them. You can't hide. Throughout those lessons, you're going to have to make choices. Don't constantly ask others for advice. Trust your gut. Inform yourself with as much about the information that you're seeking as possible and make a decision. After you make a decision, understand that where you are today is because of the choices that you made in the past. And ultimately, where you're going to end up in the future is determined by the decisions that you're going to make next. This is Mr. Councilman. We're motivating minds and we're changing lives in 2022. We're taking it to the next level. And we're holding ourselves accountable this year. We're doing everything we can to make ourselves a better version of ourselves this year. And I'm talking to me too when I say these things. I'm not just talking to you or talking down to you, because I fall victim to these same things. And so with me saying this out loud like this and I watch it back, it's a chance for me to hold myself accountable. Hey, you said this in the video. You got to live by this. So I don't ever want to come off as if I'm trying to talk at you and make it seem like I'm better than you because I'm in the struggle just like you. But just like you, if we're like-minded, we want to keep each other accountable. And today I'm trying to hold myself accountable, and I'm doing the same for you. I'm just allowing you to understand that you have to be aware of what's going on. And once you grab onto that awareness, then you can't run from it. You have to face life head on, because God has given you all the tools that you need to navigate anything that you need to. You just have to be willing to do the work. And I've already made the choice that I am. Make sure you get my album. I'm going to leave the link to it in the description, Better Man Chronicles. We're taking it to the next level. I'm in the process of working on another video. When I get back in town, hopefully I'll be able to finalize everything with that. Let Me Go is going to be the next single that I'm dropping off my album. I got Fire and Jealous coming after that. We're staying motivated this year, and we're taking it to another level. I want to thank everybody for continuing to listen to me and understand. If you want to hold yourself accountable, here's where you begin. It starts with you. Make sure you understand life is a series of lessons. It's not going to stop. You have to make choices in those lessons. And where you are today is because of the decisions that you made in the past. And ultimately, where you end up in the future is going to be determined by the decisions that you make next. That's my time, y'all. Peace to all my people in the struggle.
The sun came up, I'm waking up, freshen up for my day. I felt like something might be nothing touched my soul this day. Took off riding, felt like vibing to some Marvin Gaye. Somehow excited, can't describe it, how I felt that day. But now that nothing became something, cause she walked my way. My eyes got bigger cause her figure let me know no games. The way her motion got me open, man, I can't explain. Am I supposed to cold approach you or just play it safe? She drives me crazy, oh that lady, she's got